No.
Okay.
I mean, I'll do whatever you want.
That's wide open there. You better be careful saying that.
You've got a great attitude. Have I ever told you that?
Yeah, listen to Laura. Loves that, doesn't she? Oh my, oh my.
You guys
Okay.
should get married.
Hi, Claude, how are you?
Oh, good, good. I love that intro you do in the beginning with the Spanish music and everything. That's brilliant.
You know, that music was very interesting. When I used to have the jazz station in my office, that came on one day. And do you know who that is that does that?
No,
That's
Pablo.
Slash from Guns N' Roses, if you can
I'll tell
believe
you
that.
what, it's beautiful.
I know, I couldn't believe it.
I'll tell you what, the combination of the music and the pictures, it's fantastic.
Oh,
Well, thank you. We had a lot of fun. We played around with that. So, well, let's get started. We got a special guest today. We got all kinds of good stuff going on. This is my favorite time of year, actually, with the tax sales coming up, and we'll talk about those in a minute. Let's see, get started. I'm John Lee, St. Louis Real Estate Investors Association, here with my wonderful wife, Laura, and a bunch of other wonderful people too. Today is July 31st, 2026 already. And I'll just briefly go over what's coming up, and then we want to talk to Dale. He's going to tell us about some tax sales here. But let's see first, and then we'll get to our regular networking too.
You got somebody making out with a dog on the screen there.
Uh-oh.
I saw that.
Uh-oh.
Mhm.
Okay, let's see here. Let me move this stuff out of the way. Okay, upcoming events. Of course, our Friday events. Monday is our networking lunch at Applebee's. That's at Olive and 270 11950. And we meet between 11 and 1. You don't have to be on time. You can come anytime, but I do have to leave at 1 this Monday because I got a doctor's appointment. So, which is just a regular checkup, but it's also Laura's birthday and she has another event. So hopefully I'll get to see her at some point later in the day. We do have the pet screening, Miss Victoria Cowart coming up on August 14th. That's on Friday. She's talked to us a couple of times, and I know there's been some changes with HUD as far as our pets go on letting them. Sometimes the pets are our best renters too, though. I know she went over some of that kind of stuff, and I totally agree with that. But she's going to talk about budget, property budget, and finance, which is how we can make a little bit more money and do the right thing. And what's nice about pet screening is they do all the work for you and it doesn't cost us anything as property owners. So, and then here's Dale right here. We have more I'm going to show you here in a minute on that. But Dale is, I know a lot of you guys know him. He's our tax sale property lawyer here in the St. Louis and St. Louis County area. And I'll show you what he's been sending out, some really good stuff. Of course, he's the expert in our area and we'll let him talk in a minute. Replay Center. I'm going to put this in the chat for you guys too, that I've been doing every week with the links on here. This is just some of our last couple of Friday meetings, which have been very good. They're all good. And then I left Scott Walterbach's video in here because our tax sales are coming up here. And also Angie Ussery from St. Francis County, a friend of ours, and she did a really good interview with us not too long ago about this also. And then I left in the pet screening with Victoria, her last meeting with us here. Of course, you can go and find all the replays on our YouTube channel. Let's look at Dale's right here. He's been sending out in fact, he sends out the greatest emails on this that and so I just copied them and got them in here. And what I'm going to put in the chat, these are clickable links. So you can get all his stuff. He does a really good job. He doesn't spam you, which I'm kind of surprised because I wouldn't mind more spam, but that's okay too. I just got to put stars on my email so I find them. But we do have the St. Louis City tax sale coming up on August 11th. We'll let him talk about that. And here's how you get registered. He's got a great Excel spreadsheet, map of the properties, video guides. This is very good too. You want to actually learn about them because they can get kind of detailed, and this is a good way to find out what's how they actually work. Here's some more on the upcoming sales. Of course, let's see here. Here's the one on St. Louis County. This is one of my favorites. That's coming up though in just a few weeks. Fourth Monday every month every year in August. is the tax sales in most of the counties, with very few exceptions. And of course, there's more details. Again, he's got a spreadsheet there, maps of the properties, download spreadsheet. You can, this is really, he really did a good job putting all this together. So I'm just going to give this to you. That's why I did that. And they all should be clickable. If for some reason you can't download it or something, just send me an email and I'll be happy to send that to you. So there we go. I got rain pouring behind me, so I'm having a hard time hearing me. Hopefully you can hear me. Um, Dale, would you like to talk a little bit about the sales coming up? I know, we appreciate you joining us today because I know you're really the one to talk to in our area.
Sure. Well, happy birthday, Laura, and thank you, John. I'll talk as long or as little as you want, John. I'm delighted to be with you all. And it's always great to be with the STLPDQ, ASAP, REIA. So I mean, as John mentioned, I mean, what I do is represent people who are buying property for back taxes, have lost their property for back taxes, or have a lien on property that is sold for back taxes. And when we say investor, that could be somebody with real deep pockets, and sometimes it's the church that wants to buy the vacant lot next door to put in a bigger parking lot, or the lady who wants to buy the vacant lot next door, or the dilapidated house next door and take it down to put in a little swing set for her granddaughter or put in a little tomato plant. So investor is a big tent. You know what I mean? And as far as the STLREIA goes, I mean, we're mostly investors, right? And as I said, investors can come in lots of different flavors. But also the thing to know is everything about the tax sale is a tax collection strategy. It is not a real estate marketing strategy. So sometimes people call me and they say, I want a 3-bedroom, 2-bath in the Pattonville School District. And I said, do I look like your realtor? Call a realtor. And if you want to go through the downloadable Excel sheet that John talked about, or if you want to zoom in on the maps, or you want to drive around Bellman Farms Drive or whatever else, you are absolutely welcome to do that. And if you find a 3-bedroom, 2-bath in the Pattonville School District and you buy it, I can help you with your legal compliance with the right to redeem. I can help you with your court appearances, that kind of stuff. I can make the technical and legal aspects easier. The other thing to know is that anytime, well, we're Americans, right? And we have this thing called property rights. And that's a very big deal. No one's coming to take my dog. No one's coming to take my gun. No one's coming to take my farm, right? Now, the government can absolutely take away my farm and sell it to Laura Lee in order to pay my tax bill if I don't pay my real estate tax bill. The government can't, however, sue me and garnish my wages in order to pay my real estate tax bill, but they can do some of that stuff for income tax, business tax, payroll tax, personal property tax, sales tax, and other stuff. Real estate taxes are different. The legal fiction is that the earth pays the taxes. And this comes back to us from farming England in the 18th century, where you had to give a couple chickens to the king and you could sell a couple of chickens at Soulard Market. So anyway, John also mentioned a tax sale coming up in the city. The city of St. Louis has usually 5 tax sales a year. We're down to the penultimate. That means the second to last. And that'll be in August. There is no sale in October. There is no sale in September. There is a sale in October. In the city, there is no right to redeem after the tax sale, which means it's supposed to be all sales are final and you get it right away, subject to a woman wearing a black dress, I mean, a black gown, a black cape, a black robe, saying it's yours. Okay. So if you buy a property on August 11, August 12 in the city, then it would be yours if the judge says so, and the judge is likely to say so no earlier than 4, 5, 6 weeks after the auction. We have to order a title report, make sure that the notices were commensurate with the United States Constitution and due process, and then go in front of a judge with an appraiser in tow. Who testifies that the amount you paid for the property that the government has taken away from another citizen is commensurate with the property's value under forced sale conditions. John also mentioned the St. Louis County tax sale, which, like the other 112 counties in Missouri that use that system, the exceptions are the city of St. Louis and Jackson County, which is Kansas City. Jackson County is postponing their tax sales this year. The city operates under a completely different system I just mentioned. And then the third one would be St. Louis County, Phelps County, Callaway County, Camden County, Jefferson, Lincoln, Warren, St. Charles, and so on. Those sales in most Missouri counties that are not Jackson County and are not the city are subject to at least a 1 year right to redeem if it's a first or second offering tax sale, subject to a 90-day right to redeem if it's a third offering tax sale. And so when you buy those things, you do not take immediate possession. There is a time limit where the taxpayer or her granddaughter or her lender or her judgment creditor can pay you back plus interest and keep their property. During the redemption period, you're a trespasser and not the property owner. So, John, I don't know what you all have on the agenda for today. I'm absolutely you have a good, strong group here. I'm available for questions for a few minutes or however long you want to you want to keep me, and or tell me what else you want me to orate on, please.
Well, thank you, Dale. We appreciate you showing up. I know you put so much into it. Anybody have any questions for Dale? I know there's a lot to all this, but this is where you learn right here.
It's real complicated. It's really complicated. It doesn't have to be, but it sort of is, and that's because of the constitutional issues about taking away other people's property, and then the mix of paying the taxes in the tax sale and also investigating. Am I buying a landfill? Am I buying a toxic waste dump? What about the foundation? What about the sewer bill? What about the federal tax lien against a person who has a common name that might carry over to me and all that kind of stuff? I'll take my answer off the air.
Yeah, I tell you, there's so much to it, and you do a good job kind of sorting it out and making some sense out of it. Just maybe briefly, I know because we got most of us, or a lot of us anyway, are in St. Louis County. What about the waiting periods? Now, St. Louis County are they still doing the sealed bids where you mail it in as opposed to the courthouse stairs? Or can you talk a little bit about that, Dale?
Of course, John. Now, you and I were together at Scott Walter Bach's seminar last month, and we learned from some experts in the industry about the recent United States Supreme Court cases on the subject of tax sales, specifically Tyler versus Hennepin County, Minnesota, and Pung versus Isabella County, Michigan. I believe that those cases suggest strongly, if Missouri law does not, that a tax sale should be fair and should happen in person with bidders raising their hands and without a lot of limitations on the bidder pool. However, St. Louis County is the only jurisdiction in Missouri that uses a sealed bid system. Now, the county executive is a lame duck who is not running again. The county executive appoints the revenue director, the collector of revenue, and so on. We have interim people in some of those roles right now until we have a new county executive elected in August, November, and brought in January. And so that may change. In the meantime, however, the auction that occurs in most Missouri counties on the fourth Monday in August, this year that's August 24th, happens by sealed bid in St. Louis County. If you want to bid on something in St. Louis County, the list is on their website. The instructions are on their website. The sign-up sheet is on their website. I also have a downloadable, searchable Excel sheet on my website. John shared the clickable link a moment ago, or you can go to dalesweet.com or missouritaxsales.com. And if you choose to sign up for the auction in St. Louis County, you do so by filling out a notarized registration form and sending it in or dropping it off. Then they email you a bidder number, bidder number 1234, for instance, and an Excel sheet where you write down everything that you actually have to type it. I think that might be illegal under Pung, the Pung case that I mentioned a minute ago. But you fill out an Excel sheet, you send it in with your checks, and you sit around for a few weeks. They cook the books and open the envelopes and lick the stamps and tell you whether you won or not. And if you did win, then you have other things to do. I can help you with those, or you can call someone else who does what I do, and they can help you with that. And if you don't win, then you get your money back. So it's a complete sealed bid system, which generally results in higher um, winning bid amounts. Think about it. At a normal auction, if I go to a farm auction and I want to bid on the combine and it goes way too high to Eric Kuntz here, who's on the call, and so then I still have money to play with, I might buy the tractor. In a sealed bid auction, I have to know that I have $100,000, $10, whatever I have for my resources, and then apportion those resources correctly and know that I might get back 100% of my money, or I might end up with 100% of the properties that I bid on, subject to the right to redeem. Does that answer your question, John? I know I talk real fast sometimes.
Yeah, it does. And you do a good job simplifying it also, Dale. We appreciate that. Now, there is a waiting period even after you would, and redemption period, even after you would win the bid, if you would win. And would you maybe just talk briefly about that?
Of course. So in most Missouri counties, the right to redeem exists after the auction. What is it? What does redeem mean? Do we have any churchgoers on the call? Redeem normally means to cleanse oneself of sin, right? The word redeem in relation to real estate means pay the taxes and keep the property, keep the status quo. Okay. So the property is considered to be dirty or sinful or without grace if the taxes are unpaid. And when the taxes get paid, that causes the property to have redeemed itself. In whose eyes has the property redeemed itself? Well, probably the parks, the school district, the library, the zoo, the art museum, the things that our taxes pay for. So after a first or second offering in most Missouri counties, including St. Louis County, there's an absolute 1 year right to redeem. In practice, that usually turns out to be about 14 months, but it can be as long as 18 months if the tax sale bidder wants to stretch it out. Okay. And there are several reasons why she might do that based on bidding on the wrong thing, wanting the interest instead of the property, et cetera, et cetera. If the taxes are so delinquent that the government has offered the property for sale 2 times before, and now this is the third offering of the property in August of 2026, then there would be a 90 to 135-day right to redeem. And the reason, presumably, for that shorter right to redeem is the fact that we're dealing with an extreme tax delinquency at that point, right? So just to throw out some more numbers and to confuse the situation any more than I possibly can, in Missouri, a tax collector need only wait for 1 year of tax delinquency before she or he starts the tax collection process. Okay, so taxes are due in Missouri on New Year's Eve. January 1st is a holiday. Most of us are hungover. I'm not. And on January 2nd, the tax collector, Angie down there in St. Francis County, whoever it is, can walk into her office and start the tax foreclosure process. 1 year is the minimum, 3 years is the maximum. Okay, so St. Louis County, waits 3 years. That's a matter of public policy. So, for instance, anything that is going to be offered for the first time next month is tomorrow. You know that, right? Yeah. Anyway, next month is tomorrow. Funny. So when we roll around to the fourth Monday in August, St. Louis County will be offering for sale things where the taxes weren't paid for 2023, 2024, and 2025. Okay. If it's a second offering, then that means they tried it last year, nobody bid on it, and the taxes were also delinquent for 22, and so on and so forth. Most Missouri counties use a 2 year. That's a little happy medium between real strict and real forgiving. All right. So St. Charles, et cetera, are going to be 2 years of tax delinquency leading up to an auction. Crawford County, for instance, is only going to, that's Steelville, Cuba, Crawford is going to be just 1 year of back taxes. So if somebody didn't pay their 2025 tax bill, they'll sell it to you for just the 2025 tax bill, subject to the 1 year right to redeem, of course. So redemption is a period that exists after the auction and before you get a deed to the property. And during that time period of redemption, which is 1 year or 90 days, the tax sale purchaser needs to perform certain tasks and do certain steps. Does that answer the question, John?
Absolutely. Yeah, I know it gets a little complicated. You do a really good job of telling us that, but you do need to abide by the guidelines they have. And every county's different. That's what makes Missouri so interesting. Because I know Butler County, I believe, is a 1 year also, which I found out recently. So I was always used to the ones I've dealt with, which are 3 year, which is 5 years of back taxes. So I mean, you just got to know what you're dealing with. And I mean, that's what I've learned, and I appreciate you. I think you did answer it well.
Yeah,
Uh,
thank
yeah,
you.
very well. Does anybody got any questions for Dale? This is your opportunity to ask any kind of questions because Dale, you deal with the quiet titles also, which is another whole ball game as far as is knowing what to do there because there are people because a lot of people think that all the liens are wiped out. And you kind of touched on that; they're not necessarily. Want to talk just a minute about the quiet titles and what goes into that?
Sure, of course. Well, I mean, we're all real estate professionals here on the call, so we know the concept of title. Title is who owns it and subject to what, right? This coffee cup, I own it. Is there a little blue slip that says Missouri Department of Revenue that says that I own it? No, but there is for my Buick, right? And the little blue slip from the Department of Revenue for my Buick is not title. It's not a title. It's a certificate of title. If you look at the top of the document, it is a piece of paper that says who owns the Buick, right? Uh, who owns the Buick is a legal concept. And the same thing is true for real estate. Those of us who watched cartoons when we were a kid, somebody would be tied down and forced to give up the deed to the ranch as if there's only one deed, right? And the reality is that in general, property goes from James to Judy to Anne to Linda, and then there will be a deed from James to Judy to Anne to Linda. That's three deeds, right? Between those four people. A tax sale would have the deed from James to Judy, but then Judy doesn't pay her taxes. And then out of the blue, the government comes and deeds the property to Laura Lee for her birthday present. Okay. Laura now has a title problem. Okay. And she can't easily borrow against that property or sell that property to someone who needs a loan to pay her purchase price, even though she staged it beautifully and baked the cookies and put the balloons on the handrail and had the best ad on the MLS and the best listing ever and used all the right words. She still can't sell it. So one of the things that John mentioned as a curative remedy to a title problem would be what we call a quiet title lawsuit. A quiet title lawsuit can be used for lots of different purposes, but in the tax sale context, the tax sale bidder who gets a deed from the government because Judy didn't pay her taxes sues Judy, sues Judy's creditor, sues Judy's lender, and then asks a judge wearing a black robe to sort it all out. The general idea is that a tax sale purchaser takes free and clear of everything, but there are many complicated exceptions, some of which John alluded to. Interestingly enough, though, however, a quiet title, which is a lawsuit, costs money, takes time, has an uncertain outcome in some cases. I'm settling one on Tuesday that's been going on for 3 years. My client's happy, it's going to be fine. But that's 3 years of uncertainty following a tax sale because everybody who owned the property was deceased. Okay. It has various heirs who squabble with each other in various states. They're in Boston, they're in Atlanta, they're in Clearwater, Florida. You get the idea, right? So, in order to perfect the title and quiet it against those noisy heirs, I have to sue and get a judgment from a judge wearing a black robe here in Missouri that says Florida lady has no more rights in that property. There are other ways to clear up the title, however, and I had one of them come across my desk a couple of days ago. The guy hadn't paid his taxes since 2011. The government attempted to sell the property at least 3 times. This was in Berkeley or Jennings or somewhere, all right? And then because no one bid on it at any of the tax auctions, the municipality asked the county if they could have it for free. The answer was yes. The municipality got it. They sold it to an investor. The investor took out the wall between the kitchen and the dining room, made everything gray, put in the luxury vinyl, changed all the light bulbs to be scary and all that kind of stuff, and then listed it for sale for a real nice price. Closing didn't happen. Why? Because there was a tax sale. And the guy who didn't pay his taxes since 2011 is a problem. And so the realtor called me and said, how can I save my commission? How can I get this deal to work? And I said, well, show me the title commitment, show me your letter report, your title search, or whoever. I looked at it. I said, there's only one person on there. I've got a terrific person who works here in my office who's really good at finding people. So I had her do a skip trace. I asked her to do a skip trace on the guy who hadn't paid the taxes since 2011. Sure enough, he's alive and well and somewhere in St. Louis County. All right. I typed up a quitclaim deed, handed it over to the realtor and to the prospective seller in return for a very nominal fee. They went and found this guy, gave him an Olive Garden gift card or a couple of bucks for his trouble, took him around the corner to his bank, got the thing notarized. Their closing is still happening. Okay. It was not bumped. Nobody lost it. We resuscitated it, and we did so for a really reasonable fee and a little bit of legwork and a little bit of splaining. All right. Instead of a 6 month, $2,500, 8 month, $3,500 lawsuit. So the lawsuit, however, is the quiet title. It's a type of litigation, just as John mentioned.
That's a great outcome, Dale. They're not always that smooth, but I do like it when the previous people will sign a quitclaim deed because that usually cures your problem.
It does, yeah. Yeah,
Mhm.
now sometimes you have to worry about marital status and are they in a company and who are the other members of the company and all that kind of stuff. But when people call me with their title problems, I don't look at them as my meal ticket. I look at it as a problem that needs to be solved in the easiest, most efficient, and least expensive method possible, and then try to explain that to them and explain to them that God helps those who help themselves.
Mhm. Very good point. And what's just out of curiosity, what's the longest one you've ever had that got resolved?
Oh, 3, 4 years in
3 or 4
general.
years?
I mean, once they putter on for that long, John, there's usually a reason to settle it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Unless because in general. Now, it'd be a completely different story if it's the vacant lot next door and you already got your tomato plants on it, or the swing set out there for the grandson, right?
Mhm.
And or if it's sentimental to either the delinquent taxpayer who lost it, or it's meaningful in terms of fitting in a puzzle piece in a development for the tax sale purchaser, right? But in general, 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom houses or vacant lots in Jennings or whatever it is, they're what we call fungible. They're not necessary. You can move on to the next one without losing a whole lot of sleep and whatever else. So I encourage, if things go on for too long and it seems like we're fighting about nothing and all we're doing is wasting time and running up people's lawyer bills, then I suggest, how can we settle this? What do you got into it? You chase some raccoons out of there, you hired a pest control outfit, you paid a couple more years taxes, and you knocked down the weeds 6 times. How much did that cost? Now
Mhm.
let's add a little bit of sugar and let's ask them if they want to settle.
Very good point. Yeah. Yeah. And I know you do a good job talking about that too, that you are better off sometimes because we've had people stay in the properties, that were renters and quit paying rent. They went to the tax sale. I mean, the thing happened, but show up with a tray of brownies. I know you've mentioned that several times. A lot of people don't do that. They want to go fight, and that's not usually the way to cure anything. No, I mean, little sugar goes a long way, like you say.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I have people who, before the judge has even confirmed the sale or before the quiet title is over, they're calling me with their get tough. We need to get her out.
Mhm.
Oh, oh, oh. Number one, that's not humanitarian. And number two, that's not practical from a business standpoint, right? You want to get real tough for no reason. Then you're going to get your glass broken and your furnace stolen and all kinds of other hell. You want the lights still on, you want the dumpster not overflowing, then why don't we, as John says, go over there with a tray of brownies on a Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Most people are at home at 10 a.m. on a Saturday and say, "Hey, I come in peace. Here are those brownies. I also have 9-volt batteries for the smoke detector. Can I come in and look around, or would Tuesday be better?" And then if we need to get tough, well, great, let's do that. We'll get a swarm of sheriff's deputies over there, and it'll be 6 weeks from now, and you won't like the outcome.
It's never good. The properties don't get better when you have fights. I know that
Oh
for a
no.
fact.
No.
Yeah, very
Yep.
good. Such good stuff. Has anybody got any questions for Dale? This is a great opportunity to ask any kind of questions related to tax sales or properties here. I know we got one. In fact, we haven't got back with him, but we have one lot. We were talking about lots that we bought down in Branson a few years ago, and they built a nice subdivision around it with these really nice houses out there. And we just got contacted from the city of Parks from Branson, and they want to meet with us about putting a nature trail through our property. So we're gonna, and then maybe we can do. I know we talked about maybe having the tax sale seminar down there in the next year with Scott. So we'll see if we can make any connections down there while we're there. But that I thought that was pretty interesting. So we're going to schedule some time and make a business trip, of course, down to
Yeah.
Branson.
Hey,
John,
John, I have a question
yeah.
for Dale. I missed some of the calls, so I don't know if you covered this or not. Someone was asking me about the tax sales and what's the best way to get on your mailing list? Is it to call you or send you a text message or email?
Well, I appreciate your question, John. May and my phone number is 314 tax sale. So it's pretty easy to remember. All right, just saying. And it's on the materials that John has dropped into the chat. My website is either dalesweet.com or missouritaxsales.com. And there's a link on there where you can type in your email address. I mean, frankly, you call me, I call you back, your voice messages is full, blah, blah, blah. This can go on for a while. The easiest thing is probably just to go on my website and put it in. But you'll find that I answer my phone, although I did reject a couple of calls in the last 34 minutes.
Thank you.
So did I. Yeah, yeah, get on Dale's list. If you're not on there, I highly recommend getting on his mail list because he gives you such good information. We put some of that in the information I put in the chat there, but I mean, which has a lot in there, but it's very detailed and easy to understand, I will say too, which is unlike a lot of the tax sales stuff out there. A lot of it's complicated. Dale makes it really understandable and very friendly to use.
You're very kind, John. And John referred to the tax sales seminar. That's an annual nerdy, but and very good and very helpful seminar. And it is going to be in Branson. That's confirmed.
Yay.
It is going to be in Branson this coming June. There's some country club, some Friday, I don't know. But we're either going to go to Silver Dollar City the day before or the day after, not sure yet. So mark your calendars.
Very nice. Yeah, maybe you can go on my new trail that we're going to have on our property too, because I think it's close to that country club actually.
We like conservation in Missouri.
Yes. Very nice. Yeah, thank you. All right, anybody else got any questions for Dale? Great opportunity right here.
I got a quick question and a comment.
Yeah. There you go.
Uh-oh.
Well, Dale, I just want to thank you for those spicy chips that you gave me at John's seminar, tax seminar.
You're welcome, Eric.
And the question I have is, as far as the post-third tax sales, are they still doing a minimum bid for that?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So Eric's question is about a post third. So far we've been talking about auctions and sealed bids and showing up and raising your hand and all that kind of stuff. A post third is something that 113 Missouri counties have already tried to sell 3 years in a row and no one bought it. Okay. So for easy math that even a lawyer can understand, the tax bill is $10,000. All right. That's the principal taxes that if they had been paid on time, it would be 10 grand. Okay. I'm getting to answer your question, Eric, and you know I am. And the penalties and interest are another $1,000. Okay. So the sticker price on this Buick is 11 grand. Am my math right there? 10 plus one. All right. So you can buy something from a Missouri tax collector over the counter. This is what John does. He can talk to you all day long about it. Over the counter for 11 grand, no BS, no negotiation, blah, blah, blah. Now, I believe my legal opinion is that a tax collector in Missouri has the absolute right to compromise the taxes and reduce that amount when the taxes are delinquent and when something is on the post third list. But remember, Eric, that that person's job is to collect revenue. It says it right there in their title, doesn't it? Collector of revenue. And so if they want to establish a threshold or wait a while or whatever, that is within their discretion. So turning now to St. Louis County, which is what I think you're asking about, Eric, right?
Yes.
All right. So turning now to St. Louis County, years ago, the unwritten rule was 80%. Okay, so using my easy math example, that would be $8,000, right? So if you bid $8,025, 8025, you were likely to get it. Okay, you could strip off the penalties and interest, strip off 20%. That was never in writing. Okay. And some counties would let you go lower, some counties would want every single dollar, et cetera, et cetera. Then there was a time where the unwritten rule went away and it was 100%. So in my example, that was $10,000, not $11,000, right? You could still take off the penalties and interest, but you had to pay the 10, all right? Lately, they were doing some things pennies on the dollar, okay? They were accepting some things pennies on the dollar. But there has been, as I mentioned about 15 minutes ago, Eric, there's been a lot of turnover. There's some empty positions and whatever else. If there's a current status quo on what that percentage needs to be in order to have it considered, I don't know what it is. Okay. And I would say it depends how much you offer, depends on how bad you want it, doesn't it? And and does it help if you take some Starbucks cards with you when you go to drop off your offer? I don't know. I'm not talking about a bribe. I'm talking about I have a problem. I need your help. If I gave you this check today, would it be likely to happen, or should I come back tomorrow with a check that's a little bit bigger? You follow me? And some of that's going to depend on who you talk to, what the current policy is, and how delinquent the taxes are. And then, of course, in what county are we talking? Now, you asked me to address St. Louis County, and I did. I mean, I have seen some for pennies on the dollar. I've also seen some where the person who was offering a very low amount also showed up with a demolition bid, or very, very scary pictures of a roof that collapsed or a tree through the window. You get the idea. I hope the answer to your question, Eric, is I don't really know. I mean, most of the time I get involved once people either have a tax sale certificate, which means they own the property subject to the right to redeem, or on the other hand, they already have a deed to the property. Some of the business details, like, what do they think they're buying, and how much is it worth to them, and all that kind of stuff is beyond my scope because I am a
Yep. Very nice.
Do we have any more time, John? Do we want to take another question? I have a noon Zoom, and you have
Sure.
your agenda you need to vote on.
I do
Sure.
have a question, Dale. Hi. John, do you have time?
Yeah, go ahead, Nicole. Of course.
It's just a quick question, Dale, and it's a general, and you might not have an answer.
All right.
I was just wondering if you can say which area, the city or the county, has the least shenanigans as it pertains to the tax sales.
I understand the question, Nicole, and I really can't. So, I guess the I have to answer your question with a question. What's a shenanigan? So, so if a shenanigan is, I bought it at a tax sale and 10 months later somebody wants to redeem and pay me back, but I didn't get any interest on the amount that I paid over the opening bid amount. And so now I'm really crabby, and my husband's mad at me and my wife's mad at me, and I might have to file for bankruptcy and blah blah blah. Then I would say you don't want to bid on anything in an affluent area. Because it's more likely that redemption will occur there based on property values, right? And so that's just one example. But I mean, in order to better answer your question, I need to know what a shenanigan is, understanding, of course, that every situation is unique. Two McBride houses that are tax delinquent on the same street in the same subdivision will have completely different title reports, and will have completely different situations in terms of the humans' lives related to the ownership of that property, in terms of death, medical problems, bankruptcy, lack of estate plan. They did have a will, they did have a beneficiary deed, and so on. So it's mostly a case by case basis, and I can't really answer your question without more info, Nicole.
Okay. I'm gonna try to go to the tax sale coming up in the city just to see what it's all about, because I don't wanna, yeah, I'm a little nervous.
Yeah. Well, I think what Nicole just said is something really good. There's no reason you have to even register to go to one of these tax sales, right? Now, St. Louis County is sealed bid. There is no auction. There is no room full of people. There is no courthouse steps. All right. So it wouldn't do very much good to show up in Clayton on August 24th. You wouldn't see nothing. Okay. But regardless of whether Nicole registers to bid in the city on August 11th, or bids in the city on August 11th, or doesn't register but just goes, she can learn a lot just by going there and talking to people. and watching to see how it goes, and then go out for a little breakfast croissant and go back on with her day.
Great point. Yeah, the learning is in the doing. I mean, showing up, you'll see what people do, even if you don't bid, and see who's there. What I've noticed is you meet a lot of people there that's actually in the business, and relationships is huge. So,
All right, John, should I leave you to your old business and new business and your selection of new officers for the month of August and so on?
thank you. Yeah, you sure did. You did a great job. Appreciate that, Dale. We'll get the replay sent up tonight to everybody that couldn't make it. Great information though, as always. I mean, you're the one to get a hold of. What's your phone number again for anybody that wants to jot it down?
It's 314 tax sale, John, or 636 tax sale. And if I knew there was going to be a replay, I would have ironed my shirt.
That's okay. No, and yeah, I do have that on the PDF we put in there with your other information. You did such a great job filling us in on how it works. I mean, I appreciate that, Dale. Thank you very much.
It's my absolute pleasure. May I be excused, Your Honor?
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah. All
Take
right.
care, all. Have a great weekend.
Thank you so
Bye,
much.
Dale.
Bye.
Bye now. All right, good stuff. Dale's always good. Appreciate him joining us here. So I guess as far as we still have some time left to network. Laura, you want to do a short disclaimer today? And then we'll see anybody else has stuff to share with us, please.
Sure. Oh, good morning and welcome, everyone. First, I'd like to do a bit of housekeeping. Feel free to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. Please be mindful of everyone else by muting yourself while others are speaking. You're welcome to put any contact information that you want to share into the chat. We meet here to share deals, look for deals and solutions we have in need with our real estate. We are not your financial advisors, attorney, or accountants. We do not endorse or recommend any specific solutions or contractors here. You're advised to do your own due diligence to your own satisfaction before you invest. The first Friday of each month is normally Ask the Attorney with Ms. Catherine Davis. Our meetings are typically recorded, so only share what you want others to know.
Thank you, Laura. All right, who else would like to share something with us today? I see a lot of smiling faces there.
Hey, John, I got something real quick.
Yeah, Eric.
I just read the email that you sent out about the insider family.
Mhm.
Can you tell us a little bit about it? You know, what's involved in all that?
Well, as you know, and some people do, some don't. We're redoing STLREIA. We've been working on the website, which has been a little more challenging. But what we've decided to do going forward is keep the membership at no cost, all complimentary, which I know most of you guys are in that. And then we're going to, instead of having a regular membership like we've done in the past, we're going to have an insiders section there, and that's going to have some of our more, the more higher education replays. We're going to have our download library, which we've been working on this week, and things like that. Kind of like what our old membership was, but we decided to expand it a little bit and give you a little bit more, and just have some more stuff going forward. In fact, we worked on that for a while till about midnight last night, till I was dropping, and and we're going to have more of that going forward. So that it's just going to be a deeper level, is what we're going to do. So does that answer your question, Eric?
Yes. Like I said, I just briefly read it and a couple of things, I guess, like Ask the Attorney, Premier Signature Series,
Mhm.
and Inside Resource Center. So I just briefly looked at it real quick, but not all right before I came on. So that's the reason I was asking.
Yeah, and we decided to keep it where it was because our Laura and I going forward, our goal is to break even with all this, kind of like we've done in the past, but that's not as easy as you might think sometimes. So that's why we decided to structure it the way we are, because we want to keep everybody together here, and that's kind of where we're at with it. So good question, Eric. Thank you.
And insiders will also get, if we have any paid events, they'll also get discounts on what the paid events are.
There's a lot of things coming up like that. We're still kind of developing that. So yeah, thank you.
John,
Yes, you, Linda.
I just wanted to give an update on the landlord event. It was a big success.
Oh,
There were many, or definitely several, of our attendees there. Bruce was there, Charlene was there, Nicole was there, and it was a great turnout. well received. We even have a potential sponsor, I think it's PNC Bank, PNB Bank
B&B.
is offering to help to sponsor us. So thanks to everyone from this group who attended and look forward to the next one. There was even, did you send some information? Because there was STLREIA presence there.
Oh, good. Yeah, yeah. We advertised it a little bit. I didn't as much
Okay,
as I wanted to. We've been kind of busy with some other stuff. I'm in another area. I would have loved to have been there, but
yeah,
I know it was a great event, Yolanda. If you're
it
involved, I know it's
was.
really high quality.
Thank you, thank you. That and that Cardinal Regali Center, beautiful. I didn't have time to really tour it. I'd never been there before, but it's a beautiful property, just wonderful. And the room was huge and very accommodating. So it was great.
Very nice. Yeah,
Thank you.
very nice. Well, thank you, Yolanda. We appreciate you sharing that with us.
Thank you.
Very nice. All right. Anybody have anything they want to buy or sell today? We haven't really talked about that too much. I thought it was kind of important to have Dale come in with what little time he had. Anybody working on anything? Anybody else have anything they'd like to share? I know there's a lot of stuff going on. It's a great time of year.
Hey, John, if I could make a quick announcement too. This is Ella from the Tower Grove CDC. I was there with Eulinda at the landlord event. So if any of you were there, you heard me speaking about this there as well. We're working with at Tower Grove CDC, we have a program called Home Screen, and we are working with two groups of people who really need housing as soon as possible. So if anyone on the call has rental units that they're trying to fill, we have a program that will for free share your rental units with several of our nonprofit partners. And these are people who are trying to place people who have been displaced by the tornado, um, who will have up to 11 months of guaranteed rental payments. So that's a really good opportunity to fill a unit for 11 months. Um, those units do have to be within the city of St. Louis. The other group of people that we're working with right now is there's a building downtown called the Mark Twain Hotel, which was a very affordable option for people on a fixed income. That building is closing, and we're looking at about 150 people who will need rental units in the next month. So, if anyone has any shared housing opportunities or any apartments that could be in the $600 to $700 a month price range. If you're interested in learning more, please feel free to contact me or ask any questions now if you have any off the top of your head. But if you have any rental units, there's a lot of people who are looking. So let me know if I can help facilitate that in any way.
Yeah, and this is the city of St. Louis, correct, Ella, that you're looking for?
For the rental assistance for the tornado impacted people, it does have to be within the city of St. Louis. For those seniors who are on a very low fixed income, those units can be anywhere. So I think most of them would like to stay in the city, but we will take any and all opportunities to get those people housed that we can.
Okay, and that could be a variety of like 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom, four, or whatever. It just depends. You probably have somebody that might be able to fill any of those. Is that correct?
Yep, yep, yep. Especially with the tornado displaced people. Those we have families, we have individuals that needs a lot of variety. Yeah.
Yeah. And what's the best contact information for you, Ella, that you'd like to share with us?
It is my email address is Ella ELLA at Tower Grove CDC like cat dog cat .org. I will definitely put that in the chat, but if anyone wants to reach our office, we can also be reached at 314-865-5530.
30. Thank you, Ella.
Thank
So,
you.
yeah, if you don't mind putting that in the chat too for anybody to write down, that's great. Thank you very much. I know the tornado, even though it was last year, that's still affecting a lot of us here in town.
Yep.
Yeah,
And they have a little bit more funding for that guaranteed 11 months of rental assistance plus a security deposit. So, like I said, it can be a pretty good opportunity. You're paid, the landlord's paid directly in a lump sum upfront. So,
great opportunity. Yeah, for everybody. Appreciate that. All right. Who else has something for us today? A lot
Hey,
of good.
hey, friends, I just wanted to hop in here really quickly and I'm putting this in the chat. I have to hop off here in a second for another meeting, but I wanted to kind of talk a little bit. I know Justin Tittle and he actually works for Arch Interim Housing. So he's another resource if you guys ever need somebody for displaced families. We use them because obviously with fire, water, mold cleanup and restoration with our Pride Restoration Company. You guys know what we do. We have displaced families. So he helps us out. I think they could do like 6 months to a year, something like that. I don't think it matters the time frame, but basically, they are furnished as well. So if you guys ever need help with any of that, let me know and I'll put my email in the chat. And like always, if you guys need any connections with real estate agents, insurance agents, roofers, plumbers, anybody like that, I can shoot those over to you like I always do with you guys. Ella, I can try to email you today Justin's contact info so that way you'll have it in case you need him as well.
that would be
But
great, Sarah. Thank you.
I will do it. I'll take a screenshot now of it and I'll do that by today for you. So let me finish. So it's Justin Tittle. Um yeah, and just email me, friends, if you guys have a need for any of that with displaced families. If you guys can't find anybody in the group, I'd be happy to help you. I don't know his email off the top of my head, so just email me if you guys have a need. But Arch Interim Housing is what they're called. And I had a one-to-one with him a few months ago. He's a great guy. I see him everywhere networking too. So he's great. I'll put this in the chat here for you guys. And then Ella, I will take a picture of your contact info and I'll shoot that to you, Justin's contact info for you today.
And what's your contact information, Sarah, if you don't mind telling us that
Yes,
verbally real quick
yes.
here.
Sorry. It's and I'll put this in the chat before I go. It's S, like my first name, S Cantrell. So it's SCANTRELL at priderestoration.com. And then you guys can also have, I give everybody my personal cell. It's 573-883-0637. So it's scantrell at priderestoration.com and 573-883-0637. And let me put this in the chat for you guys. But yeah, if you guys need anything at all, just get with me. I've missed the past couple, 2, 3 Fridays due to networking events, so I'm sorry. I should be there Monday at Applebee's, though. I should be there. And I just emailed a commercial cleaning guy and I invited him with me. So hopefully we can get you guys some other people too. And that'll help you guys. Let me put myself in here too. But yeah, if you guys need help with anything, just shoot me an email or a text anytime. I can help you out with that.
Thank you, Sarah. I don't know how you keep up with all your networking events. I see your pictures and
By
stuff.
the
You're
grace
all
of God,
over.
John.
Oh my. I don't know how you do it.
By the grace
Amazing.
of God, John, I'm just here. I told Jim this morning, or I told Jim earlier, like yesterday, I said, Jim, I've had late networking events all week long. I haven't gotten home till about like 7:30, 8 o'clock every night. And I told him, I said, I am working from home on Friday, friend, all day long. So
Wow. And you're still working. That's the amazing
I
part.
know,
You need
I
a
know.
day off.
I'm telling you, I was like, I'm working from home Friday. And then I had a video. If you guys are friends with me on Facebook, he was like, put a video on Facebook of, the rain and stuff like that. So I had my husband out there videotaping me on this rain. And, because, we're going to have some flooding, right, friends? So flooding, any kind of sewage backup. If your sump pump quits working, let us know. We're here to help you. You guys know that. So, but anyway, so I invited Jim today. He was busy, so hopefully he can hop on a call soon with you guys. But yeah, Ella, I'll shoot you an email later on and give you Justin's information. He's a great guy. But again, if you guys need any other connections or anything with realtors, roofers, insurance agents, plumbers, anything like that, let me know. I meet people all the time and partner with them. So
Thank you so much, Sarah. We appreciate that very
absolutely,
much.
guys. I'm hopping off here, but let me know if you need anything, and I'll see you guys at Applebee's on Monday.
Thank you. We'll look forward to seeing you then.
Thank you, friends. Stay
Take
dry
care.
today. Have a
All
great
right.
weekend.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye now. All right. Always happy to have Sarah come in. She always got a big smile on her face, no matter what's going on. So appreciate that. All right. Anybody else have anything for us today? We're coming up on the top of the hour. I know we had covered a lot of stuff today, a lot of good stuff. A lot of stuff going on. It's like I said, it's my favorite time of year. I love the tax sales coming up. There's just a lot of good things going on with it. Appreciate Dale coming in. Appreciate Ella sharing with us. And I see Missy up there. You got something you want to say to us, Missy? You got your smiling face there.
Hey, John. So we do property management. So if anyone's ever looking for some help doing some property management, I'm the one that you want to contact. We do in-house maintenance, and we can help you sell or list the property for sale as well. So we kind of do it all from the ground up. We go through all of your code inspections for you and let you know how those turn out. We're pretty good at doing the inspection side too. So you can always reach me at 573-332-7686, extension 306. I'll put my contact in chat as well for everyone if anyone wants it.
Thank you. Appreciate that, Missy. Very nice. All right. Anybody else have anything for us today? Not, I'll have the replay up as soon as I can. I should be able to get it up by midnight tonight. That was my old rule. And then with everything going on Fridays, I had to change it to Sunday, but I think I'll have time today. So look forward to that. If anybody else needs anything, feel free to send me a message and we'll see what we can do. Otherwise, I guess we'll look forward to seeing you all Monday at the lunch, except for Laura on her birthday. So, and we'll hopefully see her some point that day.
Stop.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining us today, and we'll look forward to seeing you soon. Bye now.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.